Blessed Saturday, everyone, and welcome to One with God. Today we are reminded about things that we do not know. For example, what kind of challenges lie ahead of us, when is Jesus' second coming, and a lot of other things that the Bible calls the secret things that belong to God. However, there are also a lot of things that we do know. For example, God will supply us the strength we need for the challenges that lie ahead. That the second coming of Jesus will be an hour when we do not expect Him, and that we can live at peace and confident trust that God is ultimately in control. With all that in mind, it is good to remind ourselves not to overestimate any danger and underestimate our ability to cope. Fear tells us that we cannot cope, but faith tells us that our Father in heaven knows when we will need the strength to cope, and He will supply all we need just in time. God will arm us with the strength that we need for whatever lies ahead. Regarding the second coming of Jesus, no one knows whether God had fixed the day already or whether it would depend on human cooperation. Some tried to calculate the dates, others regarded such calculations as impossible. Let's look at the parable of the 10 virgins to understand the second coming of Jesus a little bit better. On the evening of a wedding, the bride and bridesmaid would wait at the bride's home. The groom would then come with his boys or all his gang, so to say, to escort the bride and her girls with music and dancing to the site of the wedding. As the exact time was unpredictable, there was no ways or any location sharing available back then. Given the many preparations, the bridesmaids or the girls need to stay ready. And in this parable, the groom was delayed more than usual. Also, a groom would normally come after dark to escort the bride to the wedding, hence the need of light or torches. The small lamps during that period of time could be held in one hand, contain only a limited amount of oil, and emitted only a limited amount of light. A side note, in poorer villages, the torches might be just simple oil-soaked rags or clothes wrapped around sticks, and these need to be rewrapped every 15 minutes or so. Now, coming back to the parable, the wise virgins may seem a bit unkind when they said they may not have enough if they share their oil, but it is true because they might all end up with too little and the wedding procession would be ruined. For the wedding ceremony, the group would go to the groom's home and the couple was expected to consummate the marriage that night. But the wedding banquet would last for several days, often up to 7 days. The door that was shut is only shut against the unwise bridesmaids because their negligence has insulted the couple and the other participants in the wedding. The severe punishment of saying, "I don't know you," was to treat them as strangers. This is a severe punishment that any hearers of the parable, especially during that time, would be shocked and they would pay attention to it. Today, brothers and sisters in Christ Church, we are called to pay attention to the warning of the parable too. We do not know when Jesus' second coming is, but we need to prepare always. Jesus affirms that the Father knows the time, though no one else did. He notes some prerequisites for the end, but also that it would catch the people by surprise. And Jewish people often view the flood in the days of Noah as prefiguring the day of judgment. Jesus warns that as the flood caught the people of Noah's day unprepared, so would His coming catch the final generation unprepared. When the pandemic hit Malaysia and the first MCO was implemented, many, I think including myself, were not prepared for it. I hope when Jesus comes again, I will not be caught in that kind of unpreparedness. Whether we are in the final generation or not, we need to be a generation that is prepared for Jesus' second coming and teach the next generation to be prepared too.